Hey guys, Steve here with the Trade School video for Tuesday, August 26th. We're going to basically take it one step further from the last couple videos that we've talked about. First, we talked about how to read a stock chart. Okay, so we talked about the horizontal axes being the time, the vertical axis being the price level, and then my chart really only has this blue line on it, which represents the 50-day moving average. Again, that is the price from the last 50 days. The top chart is a 3-year weekly. The bottom chart currently is a 9-month daily. I'll switch between 9-month and 1-year charts on the daily. We then moved into talking about what exactly a candlestick was. So I refer you back to that video as far as how to read each candlestick to understand what the price did during the day. You can very simply use a simple line chart. I personally like candlestick charts just because it gives you a little bit more information on what exactly happened during the day and not just the closing price. But that's my preference. Again, that's however you guys feel most comfortable. Last week we talked about what trend following is, what we're trying to accomplish. Really, we're trying to find a trend in a stock and get on at some good entry point that we are going to look at today, and ride that stock until the trend changes and then exit the trade. Whether that be 3 months down the line, 3 days down the line, 3 weeks, whatever it works out to be. We're a little bit of a longer term trader as trend followers. That's personally how I like it. I'm not really able to watch the market intraday. So for me, I like the just let the market work type of mentality, as opposed to me getting involved and getting in the way. So today we're going to look at two other aspects of, or actually maybe three aspects of, basically trying to set up our first trade, and that's the goal that I'm trying to get to with these videos. So the next thing I want to look at is support, resistance, and consolidation. All right, so basically what support is if we're looking at a chart here in Facebook, we're looking on the 9-month daily chart here on the bottom. So I'm going to actually just close that. Support is an area that price has touched and price has been supported at that price. So if we look at our chart here in Facebook, we could draw, I usually like to draw a horizontal line at different levels where, again, price was supported. So I'm looking right here in the center of the chart here. And if we draw a horizontal line, right here at this 56 level, you could see that price came down, bounced off of that level. Price came down again, bounced off that level. Again, off that level, and again. Okay, so that is support. That's just a general aspect of where support is. Support doesn't necessarily have to be a horizontal line. It could also be along a trend line. And again, a trend line is, the way I typically like to draw a trend line is anywhere that the line or price would be touched, at least three times. So again, on this chart of Facebook, you can see price touched here, came back down, and it doesn't have to be, it's not an exact science, it's a ballpark. Came back down, touched again, came back down, touched again, then it rallied, came back down, touched again. Okay, so in my opinion, this yellow line can also be a trend line and is also support. You also then have resistance. So resistance again can be a horizontal line. So again, going back to our candlesticks, price pushed up above this 63.35 level, closed below it. Price came up to it, got rejected. Again, was rejected. So you could see here, 1, 2, 3 areas where price was rejected, and along here, if you wanted to say 4 areas where price was supported. Again, you could also make the argument that price was supported after the breakout along this trend line. You also have where resistance doesn't have to necessarily be on a horizontal axis. It could also be along a trend line. So again, price came up, rejected, again, rejected. So you could see that, this is called a channel. These two yellow lines now are parallel with each other, and it makes up what is called a channel. So, the price would be supported at the bottom of the channel and rejected at the top of the channel. Support, resistance. All right, so let's clear this chart real quick. Move all drawings. And let's look at it from a trading perspective. So let's say that this was a trade that, for whatever reason, we wanted to take. And we identified our support being, again, where price is supported, and our resistance. Okay, this is typically what I look for in a stock chart that sets up a trade. So I consider anywhere where price is bouncing between support and resistance, this gray box then is considered to me to be consolidation. So this is what we do in the weekend update. We go through all our charts, we prepare all our charts with support, resistance, and the consolidation. The next thing that would happen would be we would watch that chart until we get a breakout. This would be the breakout bar, where price eventually, that's a tough one. Let's make that gray so you guys can see it. Okay, there's the breakout bar, that oval. All right, so at that point, the stock has broken the resistance and is now potentially trending higher. So at that point, we would also strike our trend line, something along those lines. And now we've determined, now this is a setup. This is our trade setup. However you want to trade, this is, in my opinion, and this is how I do the strategy sessions and the weekend updates. This is a trade setup. So we would, on this breakout, we would enter the next day at the open, because now we've closed above resistance. So this level, this 63 level, where it was before resisting price, is no longer. Okay, and now we would actually set a stop. So a stop being where we feel that we are wrong in the trade. So we would enter here, and again, this is just a hypothetical. I found this chart. This is not, there's other rules that I abide by, but we would enter here at 66, and our stop would go here at 56. All right, so you would give it $10 in movement and allow the stock to continue working. So again, support where the price is supported, resistance where the price is contained or rejected, and trend lines can represent support, and channels can also represent support and resistance. So again, if we redrew this as a channel, this could easily be considered resistance and this support. So there's different ways to look at the main takeaway here is figuring out where areas of support and resistance are. Let's take a quick look at another one. Another high flyer that everybody loves to trade. Let's take a look at Tesla. Okay, so again, you could have support and resistance on, doesn't have to be horizontal, it can be on a trend line. So you would have, now this would be resistance. This is considered a downtrend because the channel and the price is moving from top, down, top left to bottom right. It's a downtrend. And you would have resistance up in these levels here, here, and here. You would also have support here and here. Okay, so there's different areas. Again, it doesn't have to be along a horizontal line. It can be along a trend line of support and resistance. So this would not set up a trade for me because it's not consolidating. What I want to see then is a stock move sideways in support and resistance areas. So looking back here, here's a quick support and resistance, and therefore a consolidation. So if we were to identify this here, we would take the trade on this breakout, enter the next day at the open, and set our stop below the consolidation area and ride the trade. All right, so that's a quick look at support, resistance, and consolidation that I like to look at. Next week, we're gonna go over actually entering a first trade, and and then we can how we would go about doing that in Thinkorswim, and then we can move on to some maybe more advanced topics, or if you guys have something that's still unclear, we can take a look at that as well. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Please also follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, Google+, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and subscribe to the nightly recap. Thanks for watching, guys.